Abram and his nephew Lot had gone their separate ways, and Lot was now living near the city of Sodom. A war arose in those days, with 4 kings going into battle against 5 kings. The 4 kings won, and took away all the possessions from the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. They also captured Lot, and he was their prisoner. Someone escaped from the 4 kings and came and told Abram what had happened. When Abram heard, he led out 318 of his men to chase after the army of the 4 kings. He defeated them and brought back all the possessions that had been taken, and rescued Lot. He met a priest called Melchizedek, who said, "Blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand." It was God who had helped Abram to win victory. Abram then gave Melchizedek 1/10 of all the possessions that they'd got back from the enemies. Afterwards, God spoke to Abram again. He made a covenant with Abram, a very special kind of promise. He said that Abram would have a son of his own, and that there would be so many people in his family that they would be as hard to count as the stars in heaven. Abram believed God's promise. He had faith in him, and God counted Abram as being right in his sight. He then passed between some sacrificed animals as a sign that he would keep his covenant promise. He also said that Abram's descendants would suffer in a foreign land for 400 years, but that one day the land of Canaan would be theirs. Although God had promised Abram a son, Sarai still hadn't had any children. She suggested that Abram should take another woman as a second wife, her servant Hagar. Abram did so, and Hagar became pregnant. She was going to give birth to a child. Sarai was jealous and treated Hagar harshly, and she fled away into the desert. While Hagar was by a spring of water, a heavenly messenger appeared to her and told her to return to Sarai. The messenger said that she would have a son, Ishmael, and that a great number of people would come from him, the Ishmaelites. Hagar called the Lord the God who sees, because he had seen her there in the wilderness. She went back and gave birth to a son, and called his name Ishmael. What does this story teach us? That God gives power to his people. He helped Abram to win victory over his enemies. And we learn that when we have faith in God, he counts us as being a righteous person. And we learn that God always sees us, even when we're completely on our own.